So could you talk more about your experience in Japan? Okay, so I know you became a ninja in Japan, but how did you find the job? How? Did you use a website to find the job?
Yes. How did I? So I think I mentioned it last time, but I was in a hostel in Kyoto, and I thought it might be cool to live in Japan. So I searched for dance auditions, but I was
Yeah.
searching in English and I didn't really
Mm,
find very much. But then, yeah, I knew that ninja performance was a thing. So I think I just like on Google, I think I just typed in
mm,
like ninja audition or something like
mm.
that.
Okay.
And then I think I found like a news article
Mm,
about one of the previous members who was also American who had been accepted like a couple years earlier or something like that before.
mm,
So I found like a news article about him passing the ninja audition. I think this is how I found out about it. But then through there, I found out the name of the ninja team, and then I think I Googled that and then found them, found their website, and something like that. It was
Oh,
basically, yeah, I was just like searching for things on Google.
okay. You typed ninja and another word in the box in the Google box, and then you happened to find the news article. And before you joined the ninja team, like another, your senpai worked there, and you decided to work for the company, right?
Yep, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
cool. Yeah, okay. Thank you. Thank you
Mm-hmm.
for. In this case, do you say, thank you for teaching me? Is that weird? Does that sound weird? Thank you for teaching me. Thank you for. What should I say in this case?
I
Thank you
think,
for letting
I
me
think,
know.
oh yeah, yeah, that's a good way to say it. Thank you for letting me know, or thank you for, I think it sounds natural to say like, thank you for telling me
Thank you for telling me.
about that, for example. I think sometimes it might sound a little bit unnatural if you just say thank you for telling me. But if you say like thank you for telling me about that or just thank you
Ah,
for answering my question.
mm-hmm,
But you're right. I think there it would sound unnatural to say thank you for teaching me just
mm-hmm.
because I'm not like formally teaching you something. I'm
Yeah,
just
that's what I
telling you
thought.
the story. So thank you for telling me about that. Thank you for telling me that story. Thank you for answering my question.
Mm.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, thank you for answering my question.
Yes,
In
of
Japanese,
course.
I think 教えてくれてありがとう. So if you translate this sentence into Japanese word for word, it is like, thank you for teaching me.
Right.
So I
Yeah.
thought that sounded a little weird. But
Yeah.
anyways, thank you for telling me about that. Thank you for
Hmm.
sharing your story.
Of course.
Okay, cool. So yeah, let's move on. Like,
Okay.
is it difficult to meet the requirements to live in Japan? How can you live in Japan?
Mm. So I actually started, like, I was able to move to Japan by getting a student visa.
Okay, okay, okay.
So I went to language school in Tokyo, first
Yeah.
of all.
Mm-mm.
So yeah, so that I went through like a I think you would call it a liaison company, but basically there's this company called Go Go Nihon, and they help set people up with language schools. So I went
Mm,
through them, and then they helped me find a good language school, and they helped me find a good living arrangement, and then I had to like send in some information to them, I think, or like an application, and then they hooked me up with the school, and then they sent me, it was a bit of a process. I think they sent me a certificate of eligibility, which basically was saying that I like had applied for the school or something like that, and then
mm,
I had to take that certificate of eligibility to the like Japanese embassy or something like that
mm.
closest to my house at that time and then apply there and hand over the certificate to them. And then I don't remember how much longer it took, but then after that, then finally they processed my visa and then I had to go pick up my visa again from the
Mm.
same place, I believe. And I think that whole process took a few months, maybe like 3 months or something like that, I want to say.
Okay, a few months,
Yeah.
maybe 3 months. Okay,
Yeah.
you got a student visa. You came to Japan twice or three times, right? So you visited, you went to a language school in Tokyo. So I think at that time you got a student visa, right? But
Right.
you started working as a ninja.
Right.
At that time, how did you come here?
Right. So I just stayed in Japan after, like, the timing was like perfect. It could not have been much better. Like, it was such good timing because, like, literally the week after I graduated from language school, after my school term was done there, I think it was literally like the following week or maybe even that same week, a few days later, that was the ninja audition
Ah,
date.
oh.
So I just stayed there like right after graduating because you get a little bit of a grace period after graduating, even if you're not going to school. I think I could have stayed there for like a whole nother month or something like that. I want to say like I had at least 1 month where I could have just been there trying to figure out my life or whatever, and that would have been okay. But in my case, yeah, I went to that audition like the following week, and then I passed the audition, and then basically I just moved to Nagoya, and they started processing my work visa. So the ninja company helped me out and like applied for my visa and was able to give me a work visa so I could, yeah, change it over.
Okay, so first you got a student visa, and then when you started working for a ninja company, then you got a work visa.
Yep. Yeah.
Do you think it's difficult to get a work visa for you for foreigners?
Maybe. I think it's probably hard if you're not already living in Japan, is what it
Mm,
seems like.
mm,
It's harder to, yeah, to get companies to like hire you if you're living overseas.
mm,
Whereas it seems like if you're already living in Japan, they're like,
mm.
okay, well,
Oh,
you're already here, so it's going to be a lot easier for them to hire you. But yeah, that's why I think it's the easiest way is just to go like be a student for a while, and then while you're
mm,
living in Japan, go apply
mm.
for jobs and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You had an experience of living in Japan for I don't know how many months, but maybe 1 year or maybe 8 months or something like that. So at least you lived here.
Yeah.
So that experience worked
Yep.
when you tried to get a job.
Right, yeah. I think I lived in Tokyo for about 6 months, 5 or 6 months was like my
Okay.
language school term. It must have been
Mm,
about 6 months. So yeah, October, November, December, January,
mm.
February, March. Yeah, so about 6 months was my language school term, and then I got the work visa.
Okay, I understand. So you lived in Tokyo for half a year, and then luckily you became a ninja. You passed the
Yeah.
exam, and then
Yeah.
you became a ninja.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. So what if you couldn't pass the interview? Did you go back to the US at the time?
And here, sorry, just really quick. I think it sounds natural to say, what if you didn't pass the interview? Would you have gone back to the US
Oh,
at the time?
thank you for the
Um,
correction.
do you want me to type that out? If you
Yeah,
didn't
go ahead.
pass the interview, would you have gone back to the US? Yeah, funny you ask that because I I was freaking out. Because I had emailed the Ninja company, I think around like November or December or something like that, because I was trying to figure out and make sure that they would be able to help me get a work visa because I knew that an American had previously joined the team, but then I realized around like November or December or something, I was like, oh, but I don't know if he already had a work visa. Like if he was already living in Japan and had a work visa and then they like just switched it over or whatever. Like I didn't know the situation.
Mhm,
So I emailed them to reach out and just see if it was a possibility to make
mhm,
sure.
mhm,
And I didn't hear back from them until like February or something like that. So I was freaking out. So I was
mm,
asking myself that same question. I was like, if I can't get this ninja job, am I just gonna go back to the US or am I gonna try to teach English or like what?
mhm,
I don't know. But I actually did do that as a backup plan. I
mhm,
started an English teaching job.
mhm, mhm,
At that time, I was only a substitute teacher because I was just only free on the weekends at the moment because of language school. But I wanted to start that in case I didn't get the ninja job. And then,
mm,
but I was still debating with myself. I was like, I don't know if I want to be an English teacher. Like I was
mhm,
like I'm a dancer. I'm a performer. I don't want to sit here and teach English all day. Like I want to be moving around and doing active things and So I don't know. I honestly don't know what would have happened if I hadn't passed that audition or if they had never contacted me and even invited me to the audition. I'm not sure. Actually, no, wait. I do know. I do know, kind of, because I did also get like a job with like an acrobatic. Oh, wait, no. Sorry, I'm making it complicated. I'm just going through my memories. But I got a part-time job like doing acrobatics
Mm.
for the Kawasaki Brave
Oh,
Thunders.
okay, okay. It's a basketball team, right?
Right, yeah. So they were also going to hire me, but at that time I
Mm.
also thought that I was going to work for Nova or something like that. Because at that
Mm-hmm.
point I was already like freaking out and I was like, all right, well, I guess I'm just going to try to see if I can get like an English teaching job, but also do something active like on the side. So
Mm-hmm.
I was like, that wouldn't be too bad. So and I think the I had gotten a job offer from Nova or something like that. But then I think I still at that time wasn't sure, so I didn't respond to them until like a little bit later or something like that. And then they just didn't respond to me.
Mm.
And so then I was in a super sticky situation because then the acrobatic team, they were not going to give me like a full-time work visa because it was only a
Mm.
part-time job. And so then like Nova backed out on me and I couldn't get that job. So then I told them, and so then they as well, the acrobatic people, I think also were like, we are so sorry, but like we can't hire you if you're not gonna be able to live in Japan with a
Mm.
visa.
Mm.
So yeah, so then I was really freaking out, but then fortunately I passed the ninja audition and it was all
Oh, good for
okay.
you.
But yeah, so I guess I don't know. I think if I hadn't passed that, I think I still would have tried to find some other like
Mm.
I probably would have tried harder to find like a dance teaching job or something like that.
Mm.
But if I wasn't able to find that and if all I my only options were just to teach English, I don't know, I might have just gone back to the US. Sorry, that was a very long-winded. I had to like go through and remember the sequence of events in my brain and everything. But yeah.
Yeah, thank you for sharing your experience in Japan. Okay, you
Yeah.
didn't want to be an English teacher even if you could live in Japan.
Yeah, that wasn't ideal for me.
Okay.
Nothing against that. Nothing against that. And obviously I'm tutoring English right now as we
Yeah,
speak,
right.
but that as a main job for me, like as a full-time job, didn't appeal to me because I wanted to be
Mm,
active and moving around and using
yeah,
my talents in other ways. So,
yeah, that makes sense. You can dance and you can be a ninja, so you can you have like other skills. So then I think those skills are helpful when you work. So yeah,
mhm.
that's understandable.
Yeah.
Cool. I think it's very difficult for foreigners to, get a job in Japan. In your case, you had dance skills and you had like acrobatic experiences, so
Mhm.
you could become a ninja. But
Right.
for other people, I think that's very difficult. Don't you think that way?
Yeah, probably. I think for a lot of people, it's harder to get jobs in Japan.
Mm.
Or at least, especially jobs other than like teaching English.
Hmm.
Um, Also, really quick, I think you said you had acrobatic experiences.
Yes, that's what
In
I
this
said.
case, it sounds a bit natural to just say acrobatic experience,
Experience.
which is like usually when we say, like if I say I have acrobatic experience, that means like I can do acrobatics. I have done acrobatics. Whereas if I say I have acrobatic experiences or I've had acrobatic experiences, it sounds more like the specific instances. There have been a couple situations where I did acrobatics,
Mm-hmm.
is what it sounds like if I say I have had acrobatic experiences. But if I say I have acrobatic experience, that sounds like I'm experienced with acrobatics, I'm good at acrobatics, I can do them, and that can help me get a job.
Mm.
Does that make sense?
I kind of understand. But
Kind of.
yeah, thank you. 現在、英語コーチング、英語ティーチングの生徒さんを募集しています。英語力が伸び悩んでいる、TOEIC の点数が頭打ちしている、継続することが難しい。このような方は無料カウンセリングへどうぞ。下の概要欄のリンクから申し込むことができます。ぜひ無料カウンセリングでお会いしましょう。